We spent yesterday taking oak plants outside, oak coal hardy things that we've got in here. One of the main things that I like to get out of greenhouse as soon as possible when it starts to get warm are all my brassicas, because they don't seem very happy in a greenhouse. It gets way too warm for them, and it can make them bolt as well, which is then basically wasting that growing time. They do far better in a cooler environment. So we moved everything, we put it out on a bench, which has freed us up a lot of space in here at the same time. But that also comes with another problem, or rather a couple of problems. Once you take your plants outside, obviously they're open to attack from pests. And where we live, you might notice in the background, we've got lots of trees. And there's lots of pigeons roosting them trees every single day. And they can be a bit of a nuisance. Because I remember before we had these hoop tunnels, we used to plant rows of cabbages just in open ground. And then you pop down to house, you'd nip back up half an hour later and the pigeons had pulled half your little plants out because they love them. It's just like ringing a dinner bell, putting a big line of fresh brassica seedlings in your garden. So having them out on this bench is also a problem, because they'll just come down from those trees, land on that bench and start eating all your seedlings. And when you've grown your seedlings to this size and you're popping them outside ready to be going in ground, you don't want these birds swooping down and completely destroying them all, because they'll make very short work of plants that size. And at the same time, we're going to start to have problems with butterflies, cabbage white. They're going to land all over your plants, start laying eggs, which will hatch into caterpillars, and they'll completely destroy your plants in no time. And once they started doing that, it's hard to stop it. And again, last year we had some of these plants out on a bench waiting to go into hoop tunnels, and by the time I got round to planting those plants, butterflies have even been on these little seedlings, and they were covered in eggs and caterpillars, so they were getting ruined before you even got them in ground. So that's a couple of problems that we need to deal with if we're going to keep growing more and more plants all the way through season, because we'll need to sow more seeds to grow more plants to replace ones that we harvest. And then as we get towards the end of summer, we'll then want to start and grow as autumn plants. So all the year round, they're going to be susceptible to damage from pigeons and butterflies. To stop that problem before it even starts, we've come out here this morning. It's around 7 o'clock at the moment. We might as well just build some kind of a shelter for them. And I'll buy this netting, and you've probably seen it on those hoop tunnels outside. It's not expensive, but it's quite fine. So butterflies can't get through that netting. Pigeons can't get to your plants. And it's basically debris netting or scaffolding netting. And you can get it off eBay quite cheap. It comes in big rolls and you can buy as much or as little as you want. So we're going to use some of this, and we're going to create a frame as well on that bench outside. And what we'll do is we'll cover the bottom of that bench so nothing can come up as well, because butterflies will fly under your bench and get in that way, because we've got gaps in between wood. So we'll cover the bottom, we'll make a frame to go over the top, and that's going to deal with a lot of problems. First off, it'll stop those pigeons getting to those plants. Secondly, it's going to stop butterflies landing on your plants and laying eggs. And thirdly, if like us you grow a lot of salads through the year, it'll also stop slugs getting to your plants. So it's definitely worth doing. Early morning, we'll pop out and we'll put some kind of a frame together to keep these pests at bay, because we don't want this netting sitting on top of us plants either, because butterflies will lay eggs through your net onto your leaves. So you've got to have some distance away from them, and then you've got 100% protection. Let's go and have a look. So that's that bench we set up yesterday, and obviously we're going to be adding more and more plants to this as we go through season, so we might as well get them protected right from the start. But first we're going to have to take these plants back off. So now we'll get this netting put on, and we'll cover the bottom first and tuck it down back a little bit as well. Now we'll get them plants back on. So we know nothing can get through underneath now, because it's not going to get through that mesh. And I'm going to use some of these. These are made out of aluminium, so you can bend them as wide or as narrow as you want. But if I'd not got these, I would have just used some canes and cut them to size. We also need to make sure that they can't move from side to side as well. So we'll tie wrap a cane to the top of that. I'll add a couple more just so it doesn't sag in the middle. Just going to add a bit of extra support on these ends. Now we'll get this net over. I'll just put some clamps on to hold it across that front. And that'll do. Everything's protected by that netting now. And if we want to get in there, all we have to do is lift up that front and we can fill those trays for bottom watering. Well, I think doing that netting was definitely worth effort. We've got all these plants on there now. They've got that protection of that netting, so they're going to have no trouble with pigeons, butterflies or slugs. And it serves more than one purpose. It offers a little bit of protection from wind. It shades those plants as well, just slightly, for when we get those really bright hot days. But it's also letting through plenty of light and plenty of rain. So that's one less thing to worry about as we approach May. And we'll keep something like that put together probably all the way through season, because we'll put all the salads in it as well. And then we know we're not going to have any unwanted little critters on those salad leaves when we do come to harvest. If you're interested in seeing what else we're going to be doing over the next few weeks, please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and we'll see you next time. Take care.